Hello everyone, welcome to Dennis Saliba, Occult and Fortean, and in today's video we're going to be looking at, you guessed it, Mai Thoranee, probably bad pronunciation. I, as you know, am someone from a very strange mixed heritage. I have Laotian and Hungarian heritage, hence why the purpose of this channel is to cover these kinds of things. Now, we like to look at the strange, the occult, the Fortean, the unusual, and on this channel, sorry atheists, not necessarily something that will be your cup of tea, but we look at things that go bump in the night. Yes, I am of Laotian and Hungarian heritage. That's why we look at these things. So Mai Thoranee. So she's known as the woman wringing her water from her hair, and you can see her throughout Laos and even places like Thailand. I've seen a couple of statues of her in Vietnam, probably under a different name, but basically she represents the Earth Mother Goddess, and that's the purpose of our stream today, to look at these kinds of things. So, who is the woman wringing water from her hair? First time visitors to Luang Prabang might be puzzled by the large number of statues that appear to celebrate a woman wringing water from her hair. The most notable example is perhaps the statue at the large fountain in front of the provincial administration offices. I can't pronounce that word. Salath, probably bad pronunciation, road, and many temples have a similar statue within their ground. In fact, she is known as Mai Thoranee, and in Lao culture, she is the original Mother Earth Goddess, and she is central to one of the most popular stories in Lao Buddhism. Okay, so she's a Buddhist entity. She is one of the very few spirits, otherwise known as Fi or Theravada, and that is specifically named and anthropomorphized, perhaps through her incorporation into Buddhism. Anthropologists suggest that the belief in an Earth Mother Goddess considerably predates the Buddhist canon. That's pretty interesting. There's the three-headed dragon with the crowns. They look like crowns. So, the Buddhist story of Mai Thoranee. Mai Thoranee appears in the Madhavijaya, the ninth story within the Pali language scriptures which describe Buddha's life. Although these are not part of the classic Buddhist canon from India or Sri Lanka, the story of Mai Thoranee is extremely popular, not just in Laos, but also in Thailand and Cambodia. Okay, so not Vietnam. I got that wrong. See, we're all growing and learning here. That's the purpose of our channel, is to grow and learn. The Bodhisattva was sitting in the meditation on his throne, in meditation on his throne under the Bodhi tree. Mara, the evil one, it's interesting because that name also carries into Slavic folklore too, was jealous and wanted to stop him from reaching enlightenment. Accompanied by his warriors. Oh, Mara's a man. In Slavic culture, Mara's also a woman's name. That's interesting. Accompanied by his warriors, wild animals, and his daughters, he tried to drive Bodhisattva from his throne. All the gods were terrified and ran away, leaving Bodhisattva alone to face Mara's challenge. The Bodhisattva stretched down his right hand and touched the earth, summoning her to be his witness. The earth deity, in the form of a beautiful woman, rose up from underneath the throne and affirmed Bodhisattva's right to occupy Vajrasana. She twisted her long hair, and torrents of water collected there from the innumerable donative libations. of Buddha over the ages created a flood. Huh, there you go. Lao has its own flood myth. It makes you wonder about the thesis, the theory about the giant floods across all the eons of time. Laos seems to have its own iconography around the flood. The flood washed away Mara and his army, and the Bodhisattva was freed to reach enlightenment. And this is from the Buddhist Institute in Phnom Penh. So these are Cambodian by the looks of things. Quoted in Elizabeth Guthrie, University of Canterbury, New Zealand in 2004. And there she is, the Mother Earth Goddess. Mai Thoranee, the Earth Goddess who washed away the evil of Mara and his army. Kind of interesting how the nature of like a Mother Earth Goddess is carried on from Buddhism even into Hinduism. Makes you wonder if there is a connection there. Fray Mai Thoranee's intervention to defeat the forces of Mara is one of the most popular topics for murals and statues in temples throughout Laos, Thailand, and Cambodia. In Luang Prabang, many temples have a statue of Mai Thoranee within the monastery ground. There she is. Again and again. One of the most common mudra for people, for temple Buddha images in Laos depicts the moment when Buddha reached down during his meditations to touch the earth and summon Fray Mai Thoranee. In this depiction, the Buddha is sitting cross-legged meditating whilst his hand rests upon his knee with his fingers stretched out to touch the ground beneath him. This is known as calling the earth to witness mudra. That there is the main Buddha image at that scene, calling to the earth to witness position, the fingers of the right hand reaching down to the ground. And there's Mai Thoranee. Oh, okay, that's the end of the article. So yeah, I thought I'd start with this because Mai Thoranee is one of the more popular goddesses of Laos, and she's generally seen as the mother, the earthly mother. And if you are a not necessarily a multilingual, wrong word. If you're a like a polytheist, you notice that there's always some kind of motherly archetype, but they bear various titles, roles, and functions. And we can cover more of this in the show, but I thought I'd figure that would cover Mai Thoranee. Oh, Claire, how you doing? It's been a while, Claire. Sabaidee, see? You're so cultured. Sabaidee. Hello in Lao. Sabaidee indeed. But yeah, so that's basically it for the stream. I will be streaming a bit more in the future. I have massive news though for the show. A strong possibility I am moving to the United States in December this year. So this show might change in scope and form. But yeah, big news. I'm moving to the United States in December 2025. And basically everything I have here with like my computer, I'll probably bring my microphone with me and my other equipment. But my computer, my desktop is most likely staying here. I won't be saying the reason why, because, there's lots of trolls and all kinds of people that harass and want, other people to fail. But it seems that I might be moving to the United States in December 2025. Huge news. I did want to announce this on another video, but it just came out. And no, I don't script these videos, as you see. I don't script them. These are not scripted. Everything you see is improv, generally improv, and unscripted, raw emotion. So any mistakes, anything that you hear that's a mistake or a mispronunciation, it's all natural. And I prefer to run an occult and a Fortean channel that way, just simply because I find it's easy to curate yourself in a pre-recorded video, and the nature of an occult ritual, any kind of ritual, and I don't mean like big Illuminati stuff, okay? Not that Illuminati stuff. That's not what we do on this show. Or like the Babylonian ritual from the likes of Crowley, Aleister Crowley. I'm not talking about the big major ceremonial magic with the elites. But day-to-day living, by ritual, I literally mean just day-to-day living, like lighting a candle, doing earth magic, fire magic, that kind of stuff. Could be as little as reading an affirmation out loud, or reading like a chant, or meditating to like Om, mundane things, but things that still contribute to your spiritual well-being nonetheless. That's what we look at when we talk about ritual here. The big complicated stuff, generally that will be off screen, no matter what we do, or no matter what the groups of people behind them do. Those types of rituals tend to be more secret. And there's a reason for it, because if you announce your plans when you do certain rituals, they lose power. And that's why you shouldn't announce your rituals when you do them or as you do them. But on this channel, we can talk about them. That's fine. And we can talk about more mundane things. So sorry, Christians, people believe in other things. Sorry, Islam, people believe in other things too. Sorry, people of other pantheons. There are other cultures and people that believe in polytheistic things. We exist. And there's no shame in us existing anymore. Claire Bear, she says, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Claire Bear. Yeah, it's going to be cool. But the gist of it is, one of my friends needs me to help him. And I made an agreement with him about 6 or 7 years ago to help him. And the time has come for me to basically change careers. I want to change careers. I've been wanting to change careers for the last few years. And I am needed to help him with things like auditing, taxation, tax treaties. He might even do investments in Australia. He's doing exceptionally well for himself, and I think America and a fresh new start's the way forward. I love Australia. I will miss it, but there are things in Australia that I feel like will kind of stop me from reaching my full potential, like the tax system and how tightly controlled things are within my family dynamics. I'll talk a little bit more about that. Another announcement as well within the stream before I go is things like a dream vlog. I do want to talk about dreams in particular, because dreams is something that I myself find that I connect to very deeply. And yes, this stuff is very subjective. It's an occult and a Fortean channel. It is a very subjective channel. You won't exactly find empiricism and scientific rationalism here, I'm afraid. But I do want to talk about certain dreams and visions that I get from time to time, and just, you know, share an experience, so to speak. I'm not claiming that what I believe and say is completely the truth, like Christian dogma or Islamic dogma or Jewish dogma, but the purpose of this space is to share these kinds of experiences. So I have my own. So yeah, that's it. Sabaidee, have a very good day. And I will see you in future streams. I might be streaming again as well. I'm going to talk about Hungarian belief systems and create like a little series first. I think starting with the streams first is a much better plan. Start with the streams, have notes, use the streams as the notes, And then when I grow and become more adept in my culture, I could make some pre-recorded videos like reflections on the gods and the goddesses. Another idea. Reflections on the gods and goddesses, and reflections on, things like the language, the culture, actually performing some of these things on camera. And no, sorry about that, there's a truck in the background. And no, we do not advocate sacrifices in terms of like animal sacrifices on the channel. We do not advocate harm to animals and living beings. Throwing that one out there for all of you nutcase Christians and other Abrahamic faiths. All right, that's it from me. Sabaidee, have a good day, and I'll be back with future streams. And remember, Humanis Invictus, the human spirit, is inconquerable.